that until he will get banned. So now it comes down to what they want to prioritize here.
Just lock in the Nidalee.
Oh god.
For Raptor.
Yeah.
You gotta get it, you know, you gotta deny it. They could take the Sejuani if they would like to, something like that, keep their options open.
That wouldn't be that interesting though.
No, it would not be interesting.
The Vi is something that's pretty powerful, especially with Zeri and Kai'Sa priority being quite high recently. I think it really... I mean, the pick was already good, already high priority. But we did see some comps do well into it. Specifically, it was like a bounce house comp with a really thick front line with like Skarner, Sejuani, Alistar. So maybe DPLUS up the lean into that.
I think DPLUS probably want to take the Nautilus, because one of the most powerful things about Vi is that you lock her in and then you're the one that can pick Zeri now, right? You're the one that feels like you're capable of doing so. And so they will follow that line of logic to give themselves some anti-Zeri
No
options.
one gets to have fun.
Yeah, no fun for you guys. Showmaker thinking about being a pigeon, and he will be able to lock that one in. The Nautilus lock-in does give us access to a little bit more lore, potentially, if you guys do want to hear about it. I know there was a guy on Reddit very sad about not getting much more of the lore. Of course, if the game is interesting, if it's exciting, then we're going to have to focus on that, guys. Maybe we'll have to like start a separate channel where we just read lore. If you guys would like that, let me know.
I like
LeBlanc being hovered.
Banning out the mid laners has just reverted the meta back to Azir. And then LeBlanc comes out and Azir counter. So very mobile mid-jungle combo from BNK FEARX. A lot of dive potential.
Yeah, this is a kind of fun one for closer. See what it's going to be augmented with here as...
probably a top lane pick here.
Yep.
Because, you know, Sejuani and K'Sante... Skarner and K'Sante are open and available. And they will... Likely, it's DPLUS would pick one and ban the other way if it went to that to the next side. So yeah, Skarner picked up, and at this point, DPLUS can opt to just match, or they can go in a different direction. They can pick up jungle, maybe secure a matchup there. Maybe take something like the Sejuani. Although Sejuani Azir doesn't fill me with joy, they could just match with the K'Sante though, which is the tame way to do it. And it looks like we're once again seeing Skarner, K'Sante. People were bored of seeing just K'Sante all the time. I think they just could take jungle, and that's just like priority to go for something like the Zeri. But actually, if they take Zeri here and leave jungle to last, they have prime opportunity to take one of these spicier jungle picks we've been seeing. Although they do have an AP mid, so not sure how committed they will be towards that.
Yeah, could be we could see the brand once again. That would be very fun. But like you say, yeah, with Azir, it is a little bit of a different story. See where they decide to go. As Henna does have his Varus up and available, could be something that he could lean on if he would like to. Or the Jinx! We've seen this. Jinx versus Zeri has been a thing in the past. And some hard engage on the bottom side as well. So double tanks to come through here. Some subterfuge, I guess, to come out of the LeBlanc, really dashing around these fights. And then the Jinx for that late game carry potential. Very, very excited.
Yeah, and with the strong mid jungle, you can definitely lean the pressure down there. Looks like DPLUS potentially going for the Poppy, and there's a lot of dashes that they could stop.
Oh, the Rice, you can see, look at Lucid's face. He's like...
You know, I think I prefer the Viego. I feel like the Poppy has a lot of strength, but I feel like the Viego gives you so much momentum in fights, and it's really going to come down to those initial kills. Utilizing the fact that they have a lot of strong CC, both compositions. Once you get momentum, you got Jinx resets, you got Zeri just being Zeri once you get momentum in a team fight, and then Viego as well with his resets. It's going to be explosive team fights for sure.
Yep, I could agree. I also think that this is one of the champions that Lucid has had a lot of fun on in the past as well. Do just want to take a moment to say happy birthday to Wolf. It's Wolf's exciting stuff. Let's jump into the riff for game number 1. All right, bit of a Pokemon-themed Nautilus skin here as well. The Chandelure, you absolutely love to see it. As we are freaking out Yuumi style here in the brush.
Man, they're ready for something.
I don't know what it is. He wants to eat. And all right, that they know what was coming. That's why they were the preamble was there.
Yep. Human warding. Where you just stand there.
It's beautifully done. Wonderfully executed. Clear is going to pick up a rock, and Kingen is going to see him there with the rock and avoid the rock. Lovely. Amazing stuff.
Really good movement, side steps. That's about as interesting as it gets in the top lane.
You know, eating my lunch. As what? That's a solo kill! Closer just dives to the turret and walks away!
As you can see, it's a LeBlanc favored matchup where the reset potential is really high.
Oh, that is a lot of damage going down onto Kellen. Flame Chomp is holding him in place there as well, and now he's much squishier. That is going to be another kill, as in the 2v2, Henna just destroys the Nautilus.
Have level 6. It is a level 6 Cassante. I don't think this is a plausible dive, but they're looking to capitalize on the plates now that the reinforcement is gone.
Yeah, it's a little bit interesting. So just going to try and get the Jinx as much money as possible. An understandable idea here.
Money is good on Jinx.
Indeed. That was the kind of reasoning that I had for it as well. I'm really glad that it was right. As DPLUS Kia are going to at least utilize the man advantage on bottom side in order to get themselves this dragon. Too much from the junglers so far today is Closer. Dashing forward with the Mimic, just doesn't find the chains though. And Lucid just going to keep himself in the fog of war for the minute.
Yeah, and aiming is
just kind of chill back and just do a little bit more. As
Hook
is going to connect. There's the knockup. Flash does come out from Raptor as aiming looking to try and get some certification. Raptor goes in and aiming blows him up. That's going to be the first one for DPLUS, and it's on exactly the right champion. Oh dear, okay, well now we're definitely not telling Nautilus stories now.
You don't go for.
And he missed that one as well.
And he missed.
Beautiful. And I mean, he's a dude who got... We don't know!
We need to finish the lore!
Yeah, we haven't actually figured it out.
We can't judge whether this is a good buy until we get through the lore.
Once again, gets himself in a rise, as now we'll get the information. Is it going to be the Chemtech Soul? Is it going to be a Cloud? We haven't had one of those either. As there it is, the lockdown, and there's the Chemtech. As in goes Closer, looks for an opportunity. Execute gets a Magnet Storm, and it's onto exactly the one they wanted. Impale comes down as well. Emperor's Divide hits 3. Showmaker navigates his way out just barely. Is going to grab that one with the passive. And it was almost really beautiful there from Showmaker, but in the end, it was an absolute disaster for DPLUS Kia.
Yeah,
well, Hook is going to come on through here as Raptor comes from around the corner, but I don't think he's saving the horse pants lady. As Kellen is going to be able to lock that one down. That might have been it. That was an ignite. I thought it could have been.
I feel like it was...
That's why they always say more dots. As Clear is going to ram Kellen into the wall. The turret going to be helping out there as well, as Lucid's going to make his way down. Teleport to come in as well, as see whether Execute and Clear can survive. As Lucid gets underneath the turret, Hook is going to connect there, and the Skarner is going to fall down. 2-1-0 for the Zeri is certainly good news, but everywhere else, these lanes are getting pummeled.
Yeah, this is actually a big advantage for BNK FEARX here. Getting both these out of towers and trade 100% win.
Yeah, Henna will be able to take this turret. Yeah, that's going to go down. Cease and Desist can now come on through with Showmaker. I think he just knows that he's dead. He puts up the Sun Disc and says, that's it for me.
Man, what an advantageous play from BNK here. I feel like they've gotten so much out of this, and DPLUS committed to that bot side play, and yeah, they got the tower, they got the Skarner, but losing.
Absolutely amazing, and if you set up a Skarner, it only gets better from there. So Showmaker going to have to bail from this area very, very quickly, and it's going to be Rift Herald thrown down. More global gold going over to BNK. Not even necessary on the charge there. Surely going to sacrifice a bunch of health for it though. See whether this siege is going to be successful as Kingen opting for a back, as Execute just going to have a bit of fun here. Throws a whole bunch of mines towards this turret as well. And that is 6 grubs, so they really do destroy these turrets quickly. Waiting for that tempo to shift. And like the ebbs and flows of the tide, they'll move into the river, claim their first dragon.
You really want to read the lore?
I do so bad! So bad.
We did just have a dragon taken, right? We didn't have a fight over it.
We didn't.
Is now the time? Managed to fit LeBlanc in because it seemed very focused on build toward the lore. And they just... LeBlanc showed up
man, I'm trying!
But again, it feels like DPLUS keep making these plays, trying to punish isolated members, and then it's the same thing. They play to one lane with all their members, and they lose 2 towers in the other lanes.
Yeah.
This just happened earlier, and they fell for it again.
There's Kingen, now looking to get amongst it. Kellen, okay. Gonna throw out the hook, but the Vault Breaker is going to come on through. Shattering Strike for a double stun is decent as Kingin gets himself out. Able to utilize that extra tenacity as Raptor going to create that distance nicely, but has to use the flash to do so. And Kingin now finds himself in amongst it alone. And Hannah going to get excited after picking up that kill. Clear throwing rocks around, and Kellen just going to leave the area. B&K in full control, and they are not relinquishing.
And if you're wondering how is Showmaker half HP, he was 1v1ing the Baron, so...
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think anyone actually hit him.
Oh!
Now he's nearly dead.
He did get hit that time, though. I saw that. That was closer. And they're just on the Baron. Execute going to head in towards this Baron pit. Callan over the top. Lucid in the area. Does have ulti, does have flash. Almost has smite. Closer wanting to get him out of here is all right. Execute diving on in, wanting to get rid of this Viego. Aiming, throws down the ulti. Could it be his time? They've already taken out the jungle. Emperor's Divide pushes the Stunner into the wall. Look at these health bars. It is a Zeri smorgasbord, but he's slowed down. Has to flash on forward, and he'll be able to take down Execute. Oh dear, B&K. They may have just dropped the ball, but not entirely.
Oh, but going over to the Baron themselves. Henna's nowhere near, doesn't have the health. Maybe if Closer recalls, you can TP back in. But do they even have vision up to them? They must know this is going on. They walked past enough wards.
And this is kind of, it's kind of exactly what Nongshim tried to do in their last series as well, as Hannah, he went back to base. Yeah, this should just be the Baron going down. Clear is just really dead, so he's going to be the icing on the cake. Super Mega Death Rocket! No, not happening. Aiming just going to tank that one up. As, yeah, B&K FEARX fans, I mean, that guy's still looking happy, but he looks also very confused. Well, actually, no, let's put it in context, because they're still in a massive lead. They're going to have another Chemtech Dragon, which is cool, because their icon is one of my favorites. You know, that little smoky plume.
Yeah.
You know?
I think if they just stopped Lucid from getting in, they would have got the Baron. But yeah, a little bit of an oopsie daisy. They're still ahead in gold. They're trying to hold out against the Baron from DPLUS.
They're trying to make sure that this Red Bull Baron power play is one of the smallest ever. That's what their plan is. So B&K gave DPLUS here this Baron on purpose or something.
Yeah.
I got nothing. It's subpar. Absolutely. It's out of turret in mid lane though. Still standing stalwart. B&K FEARX going to once again do that I'm mowing the lawn pose.
Decent strategy when you're struggling to make headway mid, moving to the side lane with that Baron.
Doesn't sound like a bad idea, as it does wear off. Not a massive Rebel Baron power play, but also, you know, not a negative one. So
hey, at least they got something from
exactly.
afterwards.
True. Oh. As there's a hook, and the Impale is going to be avoided there as well. So that's another cooldown that is now down. Closer trying to take the Nautilus for a walk, but he will not do so. Kingin into the back line, gonna get smashed into the wall, but he's pretty tanky, and it's a fight on multiple fronts. We'll see whether the pincer is going to work as Kingin bearing the brunt of it. He is going to get executed by the Super Mega Death Rocket, and Depth Charge not followed up on at all. There is the Shattering Strike into the crash down as Showmaker in so much trouble, but he gets the Emperor's Divide down, and now it's Aiming's turn to try and pop off. Oh my god! This Zeri able to grab that double kill. It's not a wipe. It's not completely over, but that was not great for B&K.
It looks like the Showmaker strategy worked because they went for him instead of Aiming, who's the most fed person. The Azir gets focused down, the Xante gets focused down, but Aiming is just there, untouched, and he's doing so much damage. Do a ton of damage to King, and he doesn't even get to play the game. The chains that come through, pretty huge here as well from Closer. But in this follow-up play, Execute ends up committing absolutely everything onto Showmaker, and he's not a high-value target. He's really far behind. He has 2 items. Aiming has 4. And look at the damage doing.
And his positioning was absolutely immaculate for what he wanted to get done. As we're back in live, that's a Baron going down. DPLUS Key are going to get their second and finally find themselves a gold advantage. I feel like this is another one of those, like, because we've seen these types of games from Henner in the past as well, where he's on a hyper carry and he has a great KDA, and the whole map is on fire.
Yeah, but
this is not quite that.
Aiming just missed a cannon, so I think maybe it's going to go over.
Oh, dude. Okay, never mind.
Rush them and just hecker him with
it was the best. It was, I loved it. It was so much fun seeing hecker every single game.
There's people who are watching who won't know that Home Guard used to be a boot enchant you bought.
Well, that is going to be a long-range hook. They do manage to take the inner turret as Kellen taking a bit of damage back here from Closer, but he can't push too far forward. Aiming is just too scary.
The thing is as well, a lot of summoners were burnt in that last fight, so Execute doesn't have flash, Raptor, they're like,
right,
guys,
right.
we caught Kelly.
We don't mind whether they're alive,
yeah,
but we do mind whether Aiming is alive in the game.
Yes, yes.
Got it,
it's like, they're like, oh guys, you caught Kellen. No, you didn't. You're looking for Aiming.
Yeah.
Just forget about him. It's Aiming or bust.
Well, let's see whether they bust or whether they get Aiming. That's what we're going to be focusing on here as Closer looks to get a bit of a wraparound, wants to take care of some of the vision. DPLUS being pretty good at getting down here. Once again, Distorts over, pops back. Minion Wave crashing through once again. Difficult to get the siege working as Showmaker now finds himself just straight up alone. Will be snared, but shifts the sands.
Really, I'm just going to say, you don't want to go into that fight without the Rabadons.
Oh, he's just going to pop this turret.
I think Henna might have been waiting so that Closer could get solo gold to get Rabadons, but he was in range and just stole it, so...
Oh, that's a bit cute. Kingen actually identifying the ward. We'll be able to clear that one out. Showmaker here to get rid of this wave. And we'll aim.
That's the job. That's the goal. That's all there is to it. Henna's killing red, but that's not aiming.
That is not aiming. Raptor is in the pit. That's not aiming. As the Drake is going to be secured by Raptor. That's not aiming. Oh, the three-man impale, but not on aiming. He finds the ulti, though. Aiming now gets behind the wall. And Closer looks for that backline. That's aiming. Is he actually going to be able to kill him, though? That's the question. Is now Execute dashing forward. Oh, Aiming is going to die, but not before he takes down more of them. A triple kill for the Jinx, and Henna getting online. Lucid now dashing around, finding the angles, and there it is. Takes down Closer, and Aiming, he managed to kill the ones he needed to kill, and then had Lucid to pretend to be the others.
He survived for long enough, and the momentum from this Viego pick in those long fights comes through. Now, I think death timers are a bit too short. Kingen does not do any damage to these turrets.
If Lucid could have stayed as Jinx for like the whole time, they would have been able to end the game. But
yeah,
I saw that, I think. I have to say, I didn't see that.
Yeah,
I have to be honest. As Showmaker possibly going to get closed in on here as Closer. Going to give away his position. And down to half health is this Baron. DPLUS, though, are able to get themselves back up to a decent health margin. Just want to stop any of the funny business. They don't want any sort of wraparound as Aiming. He's skating out of there.
Yeah,
he just wants to try and end the game.
Aiming has no flash. Raptor does. I don't think I have to spell it out. Just flash on Aiming and ult him. I spelled it out, but yeah, do that.
You didn't spell it.
Well, I explained it.
If you could spell it, that'd be good. J, I'll start with powering Lucid. To be perfectly honest, thankfully now with the GA, it's a little bit more difficult for Lucid just to block him down and kill him. And then just be a Jinx. Is now Closer going to pick up a depth charge. Kellen looking for the hook angle. He will be able to get it. And pop goes the LeBlanc. That is kill number one for Aiming, as now they're barreling down looking for the rest of B&K FEARX. They may have to settle for a Baron, because a 4 versus 5 is not what they're looking for. And without Closer, they lose so much of their damage. Everything is on Henna for trying to protect this game. A third Baron now goes over to DPLUS. I don't think it's changed from kill Closer as well, as Closer is looking to kill Lucid, who has to flash into the pit. So Mega Death Rocket sails by. But Lucid really in trouble now. Doesn't have the flash, doesn't have the ult, not nearly as mobile as Viegos like to be in these fights. Henna can breathe a bit of a sigh of relief here as they look to set up for the Elder.
And especially if this comes down to a smite fight, Lucid doesn't have his tools to close the distance.
Oh, Kellen looking for that flank angle. Closer dashing out of the way. Just being as tricky as possible. Lucid did have his mist. He's going to lose out on that for the moment. There is the crash at the wall, the impale onto 2, but where's the follow-up? Where are the answers here as Execute? Aiming on it, Aiming is going to be executed! Quite literally, but now Showmaker doing so much DPS, they take down Closer, and Henna, it is your time, he's at full health, and Lucid gets the dragon, and Kingen will find Henna! DPLUS Kia, they didn't even need Aiming, and they will ace B&K FEARX, and they will win game 1.
Showmaker has had such a quiet game, but he pops off in the final fight. Aiming goes down, but his team are there.
Look at that Showmaker face in the player cam. My God, we need We really need to see the player cams and the voice comms at the end of this one. Because DPLUS Kia, against all odds, are able to turn it. The just kill aiming was a success!
And it wasn't enough.
And it was not enough. They'll take down the Nexus there to shock Teemo face.
Center, so they are going to leave the clear open, and Tristana's open. And it's going to end up being a trade-off. BNK FEARX can only take one of them.
Yep.
And DPLUS, I think, confident that, you know, you could just go Vi Talia. That's a pretty good combo.
Yeah, I hear Lucid's actually like had a bit of practice on the Vi as well in the past. I hear that was a champion that he was relatively good at. May have been a little bit permanently banned against him. So it could be an option. We didn't see it find all that much success in the last game. And there are other tools left available. The SERIE, that priority that you were talking about, certainly still an option here. So do they now take Talia?
Yeah, they have to.
And
if they don't, then I think BNK FEARX take a jungle.
Right. Oh, yeah, true. So Raptor can just play it in the jungle. He is going to go for the Maokai this time around. Maokai Tristana, of course, a favorite for a lot of our LCK teams.
Yeah, I guess you could take like Maokai. And then the problem is on this third pick, you know, you could
Nautilus?
take the Nautilus here. But, you know, maybe you'd want to take, like, I know a lot of people playing Kai'Sa into SERIE. You could also want to secure, like, a top lane pick, because I think there's a lot of options. I feel like the problem with BNK FEARX, they only have one pick here. Nautilus, I think, makes the most sense, just as a response to SERIE.
Yeah.
But it looks like they might be going for the Kai'Sa instead, and therein lies the issue, because now DPLUS can ban away that Nautilus, and they know they don't have the threat of the Vi. I mean, it could be the Maokai support. Don't think it's too likely, but...
And they can also hold on to the flex of this Talia if they want to. So they could lock away Nautilus themselves or go for the Vi. But either way, I feel like they do retain tempo in the draft to make the decisions themselves. So it will be the Vi that's considered for the moment. It kind of fits.
Yeah, so... Yeah, I mean, you can take the Alistar, because the thing is, you know that Kai'Sa pairs with an engage support, and Alistar works pretty well as a bodyguard into those. It feels like, obviously, they're putting a bit of prio on a King in. Personally, I mean, maybe as a support player myself, I'm like, hey, I'd like the support counter pick, but it makes sense. Now, I guess Claire would probably just blind Cassante. Yeah. And the thing is, the support pick, I think I would probably, honestly, go Rel instead of Leona. I think Execute's really good on Rel. I think Leona has a bit of a trickier time getting on top of SERIE, whereas with Flash, the Rel definitely can. We saw it last game, you know, so I think it'd probably just be the Rel for Execute.
Yeah, you can take a fair bit of damage, Zenith bleeding through rocks and things like that as well, which can be a little bit of a rough time. That can be worse. As far as into Talia is concerned, there are options you can take, and Rakan is one of those options, but down on the list.
I think that is very dangerous, especially because, you know, Alistar and Vi can lock you up.
Ooh, I like this.
Yeah, going for the Gnaw. Seen Zeus bring that one out. I believe into DPLUS.
Yeah, I think this was game 2, right? And it was not very close at all. Kingen also was, in the past, one of our players that really did like to default back to a Gnaw, but did sort of fall out of the meta just a little bit. So, a pretty cohesive-looking draft on the side of DPLUS Kia here. I think there are a lot of things on BNK that you can be happy about in a vacuum.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at what DPLUS has to lean back on, and I'm a little bit worried about how they're going to make these team fights actually work with all of these rocks on the ground. I think it's going to take... All right, DPLUS fans in full voice here. BNK fans are on the other side of LoL Park for us, so it wasn't quite as deafening. But man, DPLUS fans definitely very, very loud. We'll see whether they get their wish as we are on to the Rift. There was something that I was going to say. And that, oh yes, because obviously DPLUS Kia has won 2-0 before, but just not in summer.
Oh.
So I wanted to clarify that. It will not be their first 2-0. They've been around for a while.
Yeah, but it is fun to make grand statements like that.
It is.
Like, you know, at the start of the split, when you could be like, oh, Quantum Freaks has more wins than Gen G? And it only lasted like...
Yeah, it didn't last very long.
Didn't last very long.
It is very interesting, though, because before today started, They had the second. Still just trying to punish as now the dive comes in. That's going the wrong way, but he still takes a turret shot as Showmaker looks for the threaded volley. He finds the big rock. One more auto, and he'll return the favor.
Beautiful play from Showmaker. Gets the solo kill after being on the receiving end in game 1.
Left in that pit. B&K possibly able to start this one off with 3. Lucid moving in.
Nearly there, by the way. He's a lot closer.
Yeah, Weaver's Walk coming on through there. That is going to be the seismic shove. Raptor gonna have to try and twist and advance his way away, and he will be able to do so, but Kellen is gonna find the headbutt, and now aiming gets in here in the nick of time. Kellen survives somehow! And on the other side of the fight, it's Showmaker getting his second. Oh dear! This is the opposite start of game number 1, and B&K finding themselves in a big deficit.
Yeah.
Watch that if you want to have a look at the geography. Speaking of which, Execute going to have a look at some geography here away from the rest of DPLUS. Did try to engage onto him. Didn't need to do too much, as of course he is the Rakan.
Yeah.
He had to keep himself alive.
DPLUS not happy with anyone admiring the scenery. Don't agree to that, and they are going to look to pick up this dragon. No chance of contest from B&K FEARX on this one.
Yep.
And I'm hoping this one is in the Chemtech.
Yeah, you are paying extra attention.
I am dialed in. It's Cloud now, so no Cloud.
Oh, no Cloud, so it's a bit sad.
Cloud Souls today.
Yeah, I know. Wow. You got your Chemtech in.
The Legends I'd ever watched was this series. I would assume that a gold lead early is a bad thing.
Yeah. What if you'd only watch this and T1 versus DK?
Yeah, if that was my entire sample,
yeah,
making a basis of, I'd be like, wow, winning early is really bad. So maybe B&K FEARX are going for that angle. And if so, they're being challenged
severely. All right, there's going to be the ulti as Raptor trying to get out of there. He does manage to lock down one of the grubs here as aiming, looking to try and get away, and Execute not going to be able to do that whatsoever. Showmaker now just going to try and lock him down. Does get the flash out from Raptor, but I guess they got what they came for. That is 4 grubbies. They're able to lock down 2 of them. All that DPLUS can muster.
Yeah, not sure it's a weird trade for B&K FEARX, I'll be honest. Oh, closer.
Well, Kellen's going to look for it. Does manage to interrupt the rocket jump. A very difficult task, as we know. Henna does the walk tactic to get out of the seismic shove, but he's just standing here a little bit too long. He's got the barrier, the big old rock as, oh! Extendo beam doesn't quite extend.
And they're going, hey, get him on Zeri because it works.
Well, now we're looking for a fight around Herald. Extendo beam not quite going to catch clear as he makes his way in. They will be able to grab some banana brush control as now the brambles come out, or the kitty cats I should say. Headbutt Pulp comes in as the Weaver's Wall splits up the fight. Clear can't quite get out of there, but he does avoid the seismic shot, finds a huge cube, and now aiming, throws down the ulti. Closer has locked up the Vi though, and now the re-engage. Oh, the pulverize into the shove. Picture perfect from Kellen and Showmaker, and DPLUS fight back.
Yeah, really nice re-engage there from DPLUS. The thing is, B&K FEARX got the Herald. They didn't need to go for more there. They could have just backed away. Rakan is so squishy, and Kellen gets a beautiful combo to set up Showmaker.
And Closer was around the corner. I don't even think they saw him, as we've got a Mountain Soul this time around. Just a bit of an aside. Definitely nice there. But I think Closer was almost hit by accident as Execute gets headbutt pulverized.
But it's one of those things, you know, where it may not be intentional, but they instantly capitalized on it.
Absolutely.
I'm just...
Oh, and he's like, go and get another one? You're like, okay. Speaking of getting another one, we have another team fight here as Lucid going to be able to take down one, throws out the ulti, and then dies pretty quickly. Kellen absorbing a lot here with his unbreakable will. And DPLUS not going to be able to save this turret, I don't think. FEARX come on down, never you mind, as in goes Kellen once again. Seismic shove this time is going to land, and it's aiming that's able to lock down that first kill. The killer instinct is finally here though for Henna as he's taken so many rocks to the dome. One too many there, says Showmaker, and he locks down the double kill. Kingen has now found clear. This is a top lane matchup, Atlas.
Yeah, with the Unraveled Earth coming back up again, there's nothing you can do.
Oh, we got more fighting. There's another headbutt pulverized, this time onto Raptor. He's going to be the first one to go down in this fight. Showmaker in pretty good position. Lucid just interrupting everything. Kingen diving on top, but the K'Sante will not be stopped from... Never mind, Zeri's going to be able to do so. Henna now running away from aiming, who is completely powered up. There's the double. Over the wall goes Execute, but you will not survive. It's the triple kill as we're diving into turrets before we've taken out it.
Which is...
Oh, back in live.
Yeah.
Henna is not live.
I hate to be that guy, but I can't, you know, we did say the Rakan terrible into the Talia, and we kind of saw that thought. Well, look at this Baron that's evolving in front of us?
Well, Kingen is going to find closer. Seismic Shove doesn't really do too much of anything as Showmaker's now put the rocks on cooldown. A possible opportunity here for Execute to actually press a button. As Extendo Beams are flying in, there's the Weave as well. They're looking to close in onto Closer, no pun intended. I apologize for that one. And he's just going to get jumped on by the Mega Gnar. Now Henna is running for the hills, and DPLUS are just trying to catch him one after the other. Extendo Beam comes down. The ulti from aiming is there. Execute is just in no man's land. I guess it's his side of the map, but B&K are completely disjointed.
Yeah, they are just getting picked apart. I mean, game one, they obviously started with an advantage, but even when they lost control of the game, it still looked like they had hope. This game feels so hot. Oh no.
Oh dear.
If Kellen steals this, okay, he did.
He did.
Still.
Thumbs up. That was going to be insulting.
He allowed Raptor to have it.
Yeah, he did. That's a consolation blue buff. And that is, it's well.
Win streak. And they kept playing like the same champs, and aiming was on Kai'Sa. It's feeling like that with Zeri at the moment.
It is feeling a little bit like that. Let's see whether B&K can overcome it as Closer has a great flank angle, but Showmaker buying some time here with the Zhonya's. He is able to flash his way out. Seismic Shove to protect him. Meanwhile, the rest of the fight, aiming is in a little bit of trouble. Throws down the ulti is now Henna trying to answer, but it does not work. Execute almost going to get killed by Kellen after Showmaker does so much heroism. And Raptor is hoping they forget that he's here. And they won't.
You're there.
Unfortunately, there is vision, and the sweeper doesn't last long enough. Execute's also dead. Kingen throws a drill at him, which is something you shouldn't do in real life, but you can in League of Legends. It's absolutely fine as aiming, chasing down the tree, and Raptor just wants to sleep. He's in his pajamas aiming. He's going to dab and head into the brush. They throw down the control ward, an expensive kill here, but it's going to be the 9th for aiming, and things that are expensive, not something that aiming really cares about. We know
games to be played.
I think we need to get the space to make a graph of like the worst possible Rakan angles, because this is up there. There's no Poppy in the game, but this is pretty up there. As Lucid, speaking of Execute.
You know, I feel like, honestly, because Poppy's W is quite short.
True. Well, we're going to trade some positions here as Henna, the killer instinct, we were asking for it, some more proactive play, and sadly we got it.
That certainly was a decision you can make.
Oh,
but
no.
yeah, like at least Poppy's W, like, you know, it is a brief the time it's up for, but Showmaker just slams the Unraveled Earth up and it's just there.
Yeah. Kellen, Unbreakable Will, going to be able to get him out of there, it's clear. Travels over some rocks, but he's pretty tanky, he's not too worried about it. This turret going to fall down, and there's another headbutt pole. Kellen, you maestro of the engage. Never mind, it may not necessarily work out as aiming. Never mind, he's at full health. Clear, going to get taken down. The burst fire is now coming in as aiming skates over the little rock. They'll take down this inhibitor. Some sacrifice had to be made, and it was in the form of Kellen, but I'm not going to fault him for anything he has done this game. Looked super, super good on the Alistair, and that is redemption. I'm sure a lot of people remember another Alistair performance that may have happened at a certain world championship.
Don't bring it up. Please don't bring it up.
It was not great, but he is certainly putting some hours because he is looking so good on it today. Aiming is about to like rid Boris of all of his wares.
He must have got a discount on those.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, this is some 1+1 territory that we're in right now as far as completed items on his area concerned. Great Seismic Shove once again from Showmaker is clear. Getting thrown around like a ragdoll. He's able to eat some of the CC, but I think the important stuff did manage to land as Kingen's pushing Raptor away, and even the Gnar is an absolute monster. First Nexus turret to go down here.
Oh, the Maokai flank.
All right, there we go. Through the brambles goes aiming.
Zeri's there to tank it.
Yep. And back into the wilds goes the tree. Man, that's what's going to be spawning now, as Raptor is still relatively low. Kingen trying to get out of the way of Henna, who's going to get slowed down by the boomerang. There's some more knockups going to be connecting here onto Execute. Clear back to full health as the Weaver's Wall comes in. They're splitting up the fight once again. The Grand Entrance, so powerful, and another Pulverize just says absolutely not. Kingen is flashing on top of Henna as well. It's a quadra kill for aiming on the Zeri. I had a penny for the amount of times these Zeris have gotten multi-kills. I'd have lots of pennies this season. As Raptor, he might be the extended pentakill, and that's it. Aiming's gonna lock it down. I'm sorry for not screaming my lungs off, but it's been so many already this season.
And it's another for Zeri. It's always Zeri, but aiming after a pretty monstrous performance on Zeri will get the penta, and they will close out the series 2-0. Their first 2-0 of summer.
Yeah.
Pretty convincing one after in this game too. Obviously game one a bit more